Let's see. All right, cool. What's going on, everybody? It is Friday. I want to apologize. I wasn't with you last night. I had some stuff that came up that I really had to pay some attention to it. But I do apologize for everyone that was looking for me. I hope you're not too upset with me. I'm here tonight. For those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Will Johnson. My website is uniteamericafirst.com. All right, what's going on? You know what? This is really, really crazy time to be alive. It's amazing time to be alive. You think that people would, finally get what's going on. You would think that a lot of people would be like, you know what? This is so crazy to me. And just, it's like, what? Let me see. Okay. Sorry about that. All right. I do have some stuff to share with you as usual. And if you would, please like, follow, subscribe. If you haven't already, please hit the thumbs up. If you're watching this on Facebook or on YouTube and Facebook, if you're watching on Facebook, hit the love button for me. Show me some love on Facebook, of course, on YouTube and Rumble. Please hit the thumbs up for me. Help me get past the algorithms. That's the only way we get past the algorithms on YouTube and Facebook, by y'all hitting the love button and the thumbs up. And on Rumble, it helps with the algorithms, but we don't have to fight to get past the algorithms on Rumble. You can just see it on Rumble. There's no censorship taking place on Rumble. Okay, let me get on with it. Are you ready? Are you ready for what's about to come? Now, I don't know. I don't have no day, no hour or anything like that. I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't know if it's actually going to happen anytime soon, but are you ready for a World War III? Are you ready for it? Because it really looks like, especially on, my position and our position from the outside looking in, it really looks like these people are really, truly trying to take us on the verge of World War III. That's just what it looks like. And I'm voicing my opinion here because of the stuff that I'm looking at. They haven't told me, yes, we're going to World War III. You've actually had the Pope said that we're in World War III. And you've had other world leaders actually come out here lately starting to say that we're in World War III. But are we actually in it? Are we actually getting ready to see it? I would say that we are, based on the stuff that's happening. And all of these, and it's really interesting because I remember when I was growing up, the left, they always said, the Democrats, they always said that the Republicans want to take us to war. The Republicans don't care about life. They want to take us to war. Well, in actuality, it's the left that wants to take us to war. They're warmongers. They're literally warmongers. And if they don't get what they want, out of all of this, then they're happy to take all of us to war. And I think they can see a benefit in going to World War III, because especially if they see a pathway for President Trump to return, it's better, my opinion here, that they probably believe that it's better for us to go in World War III than to allow President Trump to return. And I'm pretty sure many of you understand what I'm talking about, and many of you agree. Before I get into some of the videos I want to share with you that kind of gives me the idea that we're on the verge of World War III, other than all the articles that you can go out there and look, how Putin is already backed out of the nuclear arms deal with the rest of the world. He's like, I'm not going to be involved with it. We're not going to talk. We're not in talks any longer. And to my understanding, I saw another article where Putin has deployed some nuclear vessels. And they said it's been over 30 years. They probably deployed them before, but not like this. Not like this. So it really looks like the world is on the verge of going on into World War III. And the elitists, those on the left, my opinion, they want it. Why? Because they've always talked about population control, right? This would be one way to remove the population. To create their liberal utopia, wipe out the planet. It'd have to be destruction, and then they can just start over. And it would be with World War III. And I'm telling you, this is like what they're wanting. It will take the lives of many, 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 many people in the billions, right? In the billions. But for some reason, it's like the Democrats are like, yes, we need to keep doing this. We need to give them F-16s. And you have some rhinos saying the same thing. Some rhinos saying the same thing. Okay, let me play this for you real quick. This is all this is kind of geared towards the reason why I believe that they're really trying to take us into World War III. And like I mentioned a second ago, you know how the left, they're all warmongers. Well, we have to help Ukraine. We have to help Ukraine. And I've been saying this from the get-go, from day one. For those of you that's been watching my videos, you know, from day one, I've been saying that they want to take us into war. We're in a proxy war. The United States of America is in a proxy war against Russia. And what was interesting to me is a lot of people that had no clue, no idea what I was talking about. Many of you do. But there were some people, and I would say proxy war, and they would go, what do you mean proxy war? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? A lot of people don't know. Right. And even now, people still don't know. And really quick, if I can explain it. So you have Russia, then you have the United States of America, and in between, you have Ukraine. And the United States of America is funding Ukraine with weapons and all kind of, you know, equipment and whatever they need to fight the war against Russia. They are the proxy, because the United States of America is at war with Russia, and Ukraine is the proxy. The same thing. Now, China is at war with the United States of America, because now China supposedly, I haven't seen them say it, but they're in talks that they're going to start arming Russia against the war that Russia has with America. And the United States of America, they're saying, how dare you give them weapons? How dare you? Right? The United States of America telling China, how dare you give Russia weapons? Well, how come China can't go, well, how dare you give Ukraine weapons? How come Russia can't say that? How come Russia can't say, how dare you give Ukraine weapons? And Russia's already said, you give F-16s, it's game on. You've gone too far. Now listen to what this gentleman says, and he's on a Hannity. And he's saying this because now let me say something, because a lot of people, I like Hannity for the most part. I like Hannity for the most part. I really do. I really do. But Hannity is a warmonger too. Y'all remember when President Trump was in office, they shot down a drone. First thing Hannity was saying, go to war, go to war, go to war. And President Trump said, nah, we're not going to do that. I'll let you shoot down one, but you don't get to shoot down another. And they saw strength in that. That's why they didn't do it again. He's on Hannity, and Hannity's agreeing with what he is saying here. Listen to this.
And I know you've said it, Sean, I'm offended that these people on the left are talking to us as if we're as stupid as we know they are. And by that, I mean this. Let's go quickly back in time. If Germany had invaded Italy in 1939, what would the world have done? Because that's exactly kind of what's happened here in a modern sense.
Let me stop it real quick. For those of y'all that have been watching my videos, I've been saying this very same thing too. I had a young man call me and bring it to my attention. And this was maybe 6 months ago when I opened up the phone lines, and he said, Will, and he said, I was looking at this, and he said, it's the exact same thing that they did in World War I and World War II, because it was proxy wars all over the planet before we went into full on world war. It's the exact same thing playing out. And he's on here essentially saying the same thing.
What would the world have done? Because that's exactly kind of what's happened here in a modern sense. One really bad person has invaded another really bad person's country, and we're picking sides as if there isn't always two sides to every story, and there isn't always good and evil. These are two really bad places with really bad people, and the things that we're doing over there, to me, I have a son who's about to graduate and become a United States Marine. I've always been invested in our military. I love our military, but I'm wondering if we're not finally realizing that the left is the side of conflict, confrontation, and war that they claim the right has always been.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was saying. When I was younger, they used to always tell me that the Republicans, they want to go to war. Republicans, they don't like life. They don't value life. But it's just the opposite. The Republicans actually value life, and the Democrats, they don't. The Democrats are easily wanting to take life, and they call it, in taking life, murdering the child, good health care. They call it that. But the Democrats are warmongers. They're wanting to take us to war, and they see an end to the means, right? By taking us to war, they can get what they want. They can possibly get what they want. And all these people that are pushing for it, these politicians, they get to go to their safe bunkers while the rest of us get to fry. They're going to go to the safe bunkers. And see, they've already designated everyone who could go to the safe bunker as the elites. And then that will come out after it all clears up. And then they get to create their own liberal utopia. I'm telling you, it's exactly it.
This is, by the way, we appreciate you being with us. Europe should be running, the front on this, and they're not. And as usual, Americans end up footing the bill.
And see, I was surprised that, he's on Hannity because, like I said, Hannity, he can be kind of a warmonger. He can be kind of a warmonger. Now, let me play this one for you. And I kind of contemplated about playing this on here because he actually confronts Joffrey, the minority leader in the House. And Joffrey is actually worse than Nancy Pelosi, if you can ever imagine someone being worse than Nancy Pelosi. He's racist. He's hateful. He's just disgusting. He's repulsive. Not this guy that you see here. I'm talking about Joffrey, right? And the reason why I call him Joffrey is because he reminds me, when they have that name, Jeffries, and I think about Joffrey's on Game of Thrones, how evil that little demonic demon was. And it's the same thing the Democrats are. Now, listen to what he says, because he's on here confronting them about the pipeline that they were going to investigate. Remember the Nord Stream pipeline? They're supposed to investigate it. It's like they never did. And they're starting to put out reports that it was the United States that did it. Now, if the United Nations is putting out reports that the United States blew up the Nord Stream pipeline, don't you think Congress should act and say, no, we didn't? I mean, at least that's what I'm thinking.
The UN Security Council had a meeting yesterday, and Ray McGovern spoke to it. He is a former member of the CIA, and he testified in support of Seymour Hersh's article on the United States bombing Nord Stream pipeline. Okay,
and let me stop it there real quick. It's going to get really heated here, and he's going to use some language in here, and I apologize for not taking it out, but he's passionate just like all of you are right now, because what's coming down the pipe, right? Pun intended. What's coming down the pipe looks like World War III, and people are concerned, and Joffrey's on the stage just sitting there nonchalant like he really doesn't care, while we're possibly getting ready to go into World War III.
If it is proven that the United States bombed the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, as has been asserted by Seymour Hersh and his article, will you call for the United States to acknowledge and admit that that was an act of war against Germany and Russia? And I'm asking this because this may be the only way to prevent the rest of us from being killed in a thermonuclear war. And I don't want to be fried. Don't you think the media should be reporting on whether or not this is true? And don't you think you should be inquiring into whether or not this is true?
Well, thank you for the question.
No, that's Joffrey's there. That's Joffrey's. Okay, now listen to him. He's going to completely try to ignore it and try not to answer the question.
One, I've got no information to suggest that the United States was involved in bombing the Nord Stream pipeline.
Because you weren't briefed on it. Sir, you got your chance to ask the question.
You
weren't given information because he explicitly says you weren't briefed on it. Right. Shouldn't you inquire, sir?
So here's what I'll say about, I think, President Biden's leadership generally as it relates to the Ukraine and Russia.
We committed an act of war. What are you doing to respond to that? We have to hold Biden accountable. So listen, you're from Brooklyn, right? You know when to call bullshit when you see it. So do I. This is bullshit right now. And I see what's happening right now. That does not silence me. You can hear me right now. I want you to say something about the bombing, because we're all going to die from a nuclear war right now unless you stop it and you at least put and inquire into whether or not it's true. This war in Ukraine is going to leave us all dead.
And you know, that's the whole point. He's saying at least inquire into it, because there's coming out of the United Nations that the United States of America did this. And all he's saying is, can you at least inquire? Can you at least ask? And the question is why won't you even ask? Is there a reason why you won't even ask? If the United Nations is saying that the United States of America did this, and you mean members of Congress won't even ask? Why not?
So what are you going to do? Because you need to inquire. I'm a New Yorker too.
Here's what I'll say.
Say it.
We're going to continue to stand with the Ukrainian people.
That's fucking bullshit. Do not do that. You will end us all dead.
It is war against...
We need peace. We need talks.
Because
why are you sabotaging talks? Do not put your hands on me. We need peace talks. I am not going to take this. We need peace talks. You are leaving. Listen.
Democracy.
Did you even read the allegations?
It's a battle between
How about accountability? Not airheadedness.
It's a battle between
tyranny and freedom
and democracy.
How about conversations, not cremation? Diplomacy, not destruction. How about that?
I want to ask you to join me.
You goddamn airhead, you're gonna kill us all. I don't want to die in a goddamn nuclear war.
And he's just sitting there. He's just sitting there. I'm telling y'all. And see, that's exactly it. And a lot of people, I've had conservatives get angry with me because I didn't put anything Ukraine on my social media, or I wasn't putting the Ukrainian flag up. They were getting mad at me because I wasn't doing it. And I said, wait a minute, y'all not looking at the big picture here. You're not paying attention to what's actually going on. You're being manipulated. And they go, well, they're talking about it, supporting them on Fox News. Well, I just played the clip. They're changing the tune because now they're starting to realize what's going on. They're starting to figure it out. Now, look, I'm not saying that I have an all-seeing eye and I saw everything and everything. I guarantee most of y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Most of y'all were on the same page that I'm on. I remember there was this one particular lady that I used to talk to all the time. And she would constantly send me messages about Ukraine and conservative. She would constantly send me messages about Ukraine. And I'm like, and then I would question her about it. I said, well, you know what? There's something going on here. And she go, no, we need to trust Zelensky. We need to trust him. We need to trust him. And there's some people saying that you should just automatically trust Zelensky because of his heritage. Like his heritage has something to do with it. I mean, I'm telling you, there's people that think that way. Oh, just trust him because of his heritage. We need to support him because of his heritage. No. I've been saying this from day one. If you wanted to save lives, if they actually truly wanted to save lives in Ukraine, then the United States of America would have never got involved in the first place. At some point, Putin is going to take it. And President Trump put out a memo saying that if once, come 2024, or let's say President Trump were to walk in tomorrow, President Trump said it would be over with in a couple of days. It'll be over in a couple of days. And I believe that. The problem is President Trump can't return until 2024. Do you know how much damage a weak person in the White House can do within the next 6 months? You know how much damage they can do? And it's not just Joe Biden. The entire federal government has basically become woke, has become basically against the American people. They have weaponized the DOJ, the FBI, the CIA against the American people. Every single federal organization, the IRS, you name it, has been weaponized against the American people. Let me ask you this. Is there just one federal organization that has not been weaponized against the American people? I mean, that's a legit question, right? Maybe you know the answer, because I don't know the answer. As far as I know, as of right now, as of today, the year 2023, February 24th, the federal government, the U.S. federal government no longer is the federal government for the American people. They have demonstrated that. It's not me making it up. They have demonstrated that. They've shown us. And again, the only reason why the left try to act like they're for anybody is because they want people to believe that they are for them, and they're not. The left are all about wokism. Karine Jean-Pierre just the other day went on, behind the podium, and she's sitting there talking about the Biden regime is, we're so inclusive. We're so inclusive. It's the most inclusive administration ever. So you don't need qualifications to be in a position any longer. You just need to have a woke agenda, introduce wokeism, and you qualify. That is a prerequisite in having these jobs now. Just like that guy that was going around the airport stealing luggage. What was his, I mean, he was over nuclear waste in the country like Pete Buttigieg is over the transportation. These people cannot do their jobs. The only reason why they're there because of wokism. Listen to Tulsi Gabbard. Now, I said this about Tulsi Gabbard, and I told people, I said, you know what? I'll be happy to trade with you. And I've said this multiple times. You can have Liz Cheney, and we'll take Tulsi Gabbard. And this is before she left the Democrat Party. I was saying this. Now, I still have my reservations about it because during the primaries in 2018, during the primaries, going into 2019, she said that she was against abortion, but then they came down on her, and then she flipped the script. Okay, yeah, now I'm for it, right? Because they told her to. It's kind of like with Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley, I like some of the stuff Nikki Haley says, but man, she'll jump on the side of the Democrats really quick. But listen to what she says here, because what she says here is now that she's on the side of, she left the Democrat Party, and now she sees the bigger picture. But listen to what she says here about the wokism that's in the federal government.
Their philosophy, identity politics. And this is one of the main reasons why I left the Democratic Party, because you're seeing how their agenda of identity politics is directly undermining the traditional democratic values that were expressed so beautifully and clearly by Dr. Martin Luther King, that we should judge each other not based on the color of our skin, but based on our character. And yet, as you have displayed here over and over with example after example, they're proud to be judging people, hiring people, selecting people based on race, which is really, let's be clear how serious of a problem this is. It's based on genetics, race, based on your blood, your genes. And
you know what? Now, what she's getting ready to say here is exactly, and the left is going to say, this is not the same thing. It's not the same thing, but it actually is. Because when it comes to the federal government, they'll give you a position. It's not even just the federal government. You have the airlines now, right? Y'all seen that one with Hannity? It's a really long clip where he showed the black guy. The only reason why he got the job of being a pilot because he was black, and then he ended up crashing the plane, killed himself and 2 other people, and he was only the pilot because he was black. Couldn't even fly the plane, but he was there because he was black. And see, this is how they're doing the country. They're only putting people in the positions, in these high profile positions because of their complexion, right? Because of their color.
People of color.
Or because of their sinful lifestyle that they're living. That's the prerequisite that you need. Other than that, you don't have to have the actual qualifications to be there.
where do we see that connection? Well, these are the very same geneticist core principles embodied by Nazism and Adolf Hitler.
Yep.
And this should be something that is sickening and alarming to every single Democrat and every single American.
And see, you know, to prove her point, because the Democrats say, no, it's not. No, it's not. They only wanted white people, right? You know what I'm talking about, right? They say they only wanted white people, blonde and blue eyes. The point is that the left, they're using color, they're using genetics for reasons why you can be in the position. The same reason the Nazis did. It just happened to be a different color now. And they're using a different color because they know by them saying it, they can control the colors, the brown, the yellow, and the black. They can control the colors by saying it. It's the same concept. It's the same thing.
We have seen where this philosophy can lead.
Yeah. So now let me play this. And I played this. I've been playing this a couple of times already. So listen to what she says here, because it actually confirms what Tulsi Gabbard just said.
I want to take the opportunity to lay out how diverse the president's cabinet has been, how diverse the president's administration has been. The cabinet is majority people of color for the first time in history.
Really? Again, there shouldn't be no prerequisite for you to be a color to get the job. The only prerequisite should be that you have the qualifications. That should be it. Your color, your sexuality should have nothing to do with it.
The cabinet is majority female for the first time in history. A majority of White House senior staff identify as female. 40% of White House senior staff identify as part of the racially diverse communities. And a record 7 assistants to the president are openly LGBTQ+. So
what does any of that have to do with someone doing the job? Please explain it to me. I don't understand. It's the exact same thing that they did in Nazi Germany, except for now they're talking about the, colors and your sexual lifestyle, which should have nothing to do with it. And they go, no, it's not the same. Hitler wanted blonde and blue eyes. He wanted a certain race just like they do. They're blatantly saying it.
Again, this is something that the president prides himself on, that he actually has taken action to show the diversity of this administration.
Really? The diversity. Really? Joe Biden, Karine Jean-Pierre, the whole lot of them, they don't care about America. They're on the verge of taking us into World War III. We have major problems in the United States of America. They ignore all of the problems here, but Ukraine, we got to go fight in Ukraine. But everything here in America, if it's dealing with wokism, we'll address it. But actual problems like the southern border, fentanyl coming across the border, forget about that. Train, derailment, because there's always train derailments all throughout the year. But one, just happened to blow up, even though they made a movie and released it last year. Who cares? Right? Let me say this real quick about the train derailment that took place. You know what Pete Buttigieg should have done from the get-go? I could do the job. Let me put it this way. Let's say I was in the position of being in the transportation. If I was the transportation secretary, this is what Will Johnson would have done. Had Will Johnson been scared to go into that location where it's, spewing out chemicals in the air and stuff like that, this is exactly what should have taken place. Get up, go to the location, and get on camera and say, look, until they can assess the air quality and assess everything, we are setting shop here. At least do that. We're setting up shop here for people in the town so they can come here. We're going to bring FEMA. We're going to bring the resources until we can assess what's going on. Because, of course, we've had train derailments throughout the year and throughout, the history of trains, right? We've had train derailments. But this one spewing out the fire and everything, we're making a location here outside of what we call the safety zone. And then, you know what? This wouldn't even be a story right now had he done that. Because he would have set up shop. He would have had a place for people to go. They would have been trying to say, he could have told them, say, look, just keep testing the air, test the water, see what the people need. And then he could have left them, spend his personal time walking, strolling down, Park Avenue with his man. Ugh. Right? He could have, and then if someone said, yeah, I've already put people there. I was just there. I plan on going back. But no, he has to wait until President Trump shows up. Then all of a sudden it becomes a major thing. Then all of a sudden he has to work on it. Right? And Biden won't even go. To my understanding, Biden is on his way to Delaware. He's on his way to Delaware. Because see, it's not black and Indians and Mexicans and Muslims in Ohio. It's predominantly white people. So, of course, he's not going to go. They don't matter. Why would he go? It's just white people. Now, if it was black people, BLM, all of them be screaming, Biden doesn't care. Biden doesn't care. He is nowhere. He is nowhere. Biden doesn't care. Biden doesn't care. That's exactly what they be chanting. They'll chant something like that. Right? But because it's white people, it doesn't matter. Well, listen to what's the question on here. These are short, extremely short. Hopefully they don't ding me because actually they've been penalizing me here lately. But listen to this.
So do you plan to travel there and have you talked with the mayor?
Have you talked with the mayor? Or you plan on traveling there and have you talked with the mayor? Right? The mayor. Right? Direct location of it. Listen to who he says he has talked to.
I can't recall whether I don't think I've talked to the mayor. I've talked to everyone else there, and multiple times. I've talked to both the senators, both governors. I've talked to everyone there is to talk to, and we made it clear that everything is available.
Now he said governors is in plural. Correct me if I'm wrong, but every state only has one governor. I mean, maybe I missed that part in civics. Maybe I missed that. But to my understanding, there's only one governor. He's talking out the side of his neck. So he can't even talk to the mayor, right? And that's the question. Have you talked to the mayor? He should have been on the phone. Now, he was quick. He's quick to get on the phone and call somebody about wokism. He's quick. He's quick to get on the phone with the parents that were killed by the 5 police officers in Memphis, but he can't get on the phone with the mayor of Ohio. Someone please make it make sense. Please make it make sense. Again, as 5 black police officers killed a black male in Memphis, he gets on the phone with the parents. He even had the parents come to the State of His Confusion speech. But he can't get on the phone with the mayor. Please help me understand. He can't get on the phone with the mayor. Well, maybe he should have called Fox News. How did they get on with him and Biden can't? Someone please help me understand this. Who is this dude trying to be?
TSB was quick on the draw. I mean, a lot of times this takes several months of investigating, but they were quick to point out the factor that was involved here. If that stands, we move to an entirely different area of the story, and that is whether or not it is safe for these people to live in that community. Can you say today that it is?
Okay, before it goes on, this is the governor. This is not the mayor, okay? But the governor's on Fox News, and I've seen the mayor on there as well, but they can't go, Biden can't talk to him. But now, this is a really important question. It really is. Is it safe for the people there? The answer should be yes, no, or we're still assessing that. And if he says we're still assessing that, the answer is still no. Right? Wouldn't you agree? At least that's how I would take it. But listen to his answer.
Well, if you're talking about the trains, I think we have trains running through Ohio all the time. And as I listened to the news conference yesterday about the causes of this train wreck, this horrific train wreck, one of the things that struck me is that it would certainly be very helpful to our fire departments, or many times volunteer fire departments that are around the state of Ohio, through all the rural areas and the urban areas where these trains go with toxic material all the time. It would be very helpful if these railroads would take a much more proactive role in having seminars and meetings with these fire departments.
Is it safe? Is it safe? Yes or no?
They're really not, have very little contact with these railroads, and yet they're bringing this toxic material through our communities, as we have seen in East Palestine.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, Governor.
It's the fire department that has to go deal with it.
We're about to get cut off because of this trial, but I just want to try and get an answer. Can you say today that it is safe to live there?
Is it safe? Yes or no? Yes or no? And now I think he's getting ready to say yes, but he's going to say it in such a roundabout way, like he's like really being careful about saying it.
Yes or no?
Look, the water is clear. The air is clear. We've got a clinic set up for anybody who has a problem. As far as the experts that I continue to talk to, yes, they believe it is safe.
Not all of them, and he's just said the experts that he talks to. Why was it so hard for him just to say that in the beginning? Why did he have to go around the world, all around the tracks, before he just came out and said that part? He should have led out with that. So now it looks like that he's trying to possibly hide something. What do you think? I mean, if you ask me, that's exactly what it looks like. Now, of course, you have Pete Buttigieg, where he's blaming President Trump for this derailment. Have y'all heard that? I'm pretty sure you have. All of the left, they've been saying, oh, it's President Trump's fault. The policies President Trump did, he's the one that caused this. It's because of him. Even Joy Behar, Unjoyful Behar, she said the same thing. And she said the people in Ohio deserve what they get because they voted for Trump. You remember? I know y'all know what I'm talking about. Can't play it here on the socialist medias because every time I play The Witches from the View, they ding me. They penalize me every single time. But listen to this. This is on MSSTD, and they're talking about how it's Trump's fault, right? Really?
Buttigieg also responded to criticism from former President Donald Trump, who had visited East Palestine the previous day. Buttigieg said it was Trump's administration that deregulated railroad safety, including suspending a requirement that trains carrying flammable liquids be outfitted with faster brakes.
You hear this? So they're all saying it. It was Trump's fault. They should have been outfitted with faster brakes. Well, listen to this one. This is someone that's out of the Biden regime here on the Communist News Network. Listen to what she says about this particular train derailment and how it's President Trump's fault. Now, I said that on purpose. Listen to what she says here on the Communist News Network.
For this investigation and for this derailment, ECP brakes would not have prevented the derailment.
Oh, really? Here it is. Would not have prevented the derailment. What is she saying here? And look at Jake the Snake. Like, oh my goodness, I can't believe she's sitting there saying that.
The wheel bearing failed on car number 23. So even with ECP brakes, the derailment would have occurred, the fire would have ensued, and the 5 vinyl chloride tank cars would still have to be vented and burned.
And to my understanding, she's the what is it? She's the NTSB chair for Homeland out of the Biden regime. So she's on the Communist News Network saying, no, it wouldn't even be President Trump's fault. It's not even President Trump's fault. But they don't care. They bring her on because she's part of the Biden regime's administration. They don't care. They just play this little segment. They kind of ignore it. They just move along like she never even said it. They should be drilling it in right now to Pete Buttigieg. Well, they should have Pete come back on. Well, Pete, she's telling us this, but you're saying another thing, that it was Trump's fault. You even went out on your little campaign saying that it was President Trump's fault. And it wasn't President Trump's fault. Not at all. Let me play this one for you because this is about Biden running for 2024. And it's really interesting because there was a video earlier where Jill Biden was asked about Biden running for 2024. And apparently Joe Biden doesn't know what she said, so he can't make a decision. He has to talk to her first if he's going to run or not.
Let me ask you the question everyone is asking. Are you running?
Well, apparently someone interviewed my wife today, I heard
that too, just before I came in.
I got to call her and find out. No, all kidding aside.
Really? You hear that? I got to call her and find out, but then, oh no, all kidding aside. No, he's being serious. You remember foot in the mouth all the time, foot in the mouth, Joe?
I heard that too, just before I came in.
I got to call her and find out. No, all kidding aside. My intention hasn't been from the beginning to run, but there's too many other things I have to finish in the near term before I start a campaign.
Really? So what would that be? What would that be? Because you're not going to Ohio. Well, what would it be? You're not taking care of the southern border. What would that be? Our gas prices are starting to go back on the rise. What would it be? The food, the eggs, the bread, the milk, that's still on the rise and still going up. What would it be? What is it that you are doing that you just can't come out and say, yeah, I got to do it? You might as well do it. That 43% of the time that you're snapping in Delaware and when you go home on vacation, the 43% of the time, once you do that thing. See, the thing is, when he finally starts going on the campaign trail again, that 43%, he still have to do that 43% of his nap time. And the other time, he's going to be on the campaign. So it'll just be Obama running the country still. Yes, I said, it's still just be Obama running the country because he's going to be on the campaign. He cannot go to vacation and go on campaign and supposedly try to run the country. Dude can't even walk and chew gum at the same time. He really can't. I have another one for you I want to share with you. This one, the guy, and this just really took me back. I wasn't expecting this at all. He asked Joe Biden about the classified documents that he had in his garage and said, you pointed out President Trump, said President Trump was, he did a poor job and he mishandled these documents. He said, wouldn't you, are you still saying the same thing? I'm paraphrasing here because I'm getting ready to play it. Listen to the interaction. And then he says, you're a good lawyer. What does that got to do? He's a journalist asking him a question.
One word you used when you hear about boxes in your garage or in your old office, you called the Trump discovery irresponsible. Is there something irresponsible here, though, too?
You know, you're a good lawyer, but you're trying to make a comparison.
What do you mean trying to make a comparison? You know what? There is no comparison. What you did was a lot worse. Those documents have been in your possession for over 30 years. The National Archives was full aware of what documents President Trump had. The National Archives dropped the ball. They didn't do the job when it came to you and the Obama administration when you left with documents. Completely highly classified documents. So you can't compare the two. You're right. You can't. What you did was a lot worse. But of course, all of those on the left, saying, oh, it was just a few documents. It's really not that important. You're trying to give President Trump a pass. He was the president. He is the president, right? He is the president. He could take the classified documents. He could declassify the documents. That's already been established. But they don't care. They really don't. They don't care. They really don't. They don't care. All right, I have a few more things that I want to share with you. I know it's Friday. It's Friday. All right, come join me over on my Rumble. There's a few things that I want to share with you that I most definitely can't share on these other platforms. But before I go, let me say thank you to a few people on, let me see if if anyone decided to bless me. We shall see. Let me see, where is it at? All right, let's go look. I think so. Okay, there's a couple people. I want to say thank you so much for the blessings. Thank you so much for blessing me with stars. Chuck, thank you so much. Let me see. Sherry, thank you so much. Anna, thank you so much. Margaret, Ann, thank you. There's Anna and Ann. Thank you so much. Gretchen, thank you so much. Ann, again, thank you so much for those stars. I really do appreciate it. Denise, Mike, thank you so much. Gold, Rosa, thank you so much. David, thank you so much for the stars. I really do appreciate it. And all of the people that's on there, a lot of people actually hit the share button on Facebook. Thank you so much. Deborah, Jean, Maggie, Ann as well. Laura, let me see, Richard, Lenore, and just Wendy, Stephanie, Missy, Carol, Carla, Jean. Thank you so much. Shannon, thank you so much for sharing my Facebook video here, a podcast. And thank you so much. And everybody, if you're on YouTube, please smash that like button for me. Smash that like button. Smash the like button. Okay, I'm getting ready to go over a Rumble. We're gonna get ready to rumble. Let's get ready to rumble. So join me on the Rumble channel that you see right there. You can just go to Rumble and type in my name, Will Johnson, and it'll take you right to it. Or if you're having a little difficulties there, it's on my website down at the bottom there, www.uaf.media. That's how you type it in, exactly like that, www.uaf.media. Type that in the browser and it'll take you to a page to show you the list of all of the platforms that I'm on. You just click on Rumble if you want to see the rest of this broadcast. All right. For those of you that are already on Rumble, thank you so much for being there. Got some stuff that I want to share with you. And man, oh man, oh man.